Jason, we kind of try and formulate our opinion. I mean, we usually don't just... What's best is if you have a piece of paper outside on your table and you kind of talk to your neighbor, whisper, and you have a pen and write down all your ideas and then get up and don't just stand there and be like, so Star Wars is cool. You gotta have something prepared. We like to have stuff prepared ahead of time. Haitham, do you have to speak? Yes. Let's give an example. Haitham's great.
I just have two things to say. Star Wars is obviously better because Disneyland has a ride based on it. Does that no Harry Potter right, guys? Come on. Universal. Universal.
Back there, Alright, quiet down.
I'd like to debate against that statement. Harry Potter may not have a ride, but they do have an entire section in the theme park in Orlando.
As Harry Potter may have a whole section in the theme park, that is not the happiest place on earth. As you know, Disneyland is, obviously. Disneyland, California, of course. Huh? What? Oh, I'm sorry. As Harry Potter may have their own section, Star Wars in Disneyland, California is the happiest place on earth. Right. And, you know.
I was trying to pertain to the topic and not have this.
I know, I was going to continue. I was just refuting a single ball. Alright, fine, cut me off.
Alright. There may be a section in Orlando for Harry Potter, but there is a Skywalker Ranch. Its own plot of land. So its own theme park in a way. So Star Wars has its own theme park? In a way.
Honestly, I guess what Ken said is just his opinion about 1 through 3 ruining Star Wars, because a lot of people believe that. And you can talk about, you know, Star Wars has this and Harry Potter has this and this location, but that really doesn't matter because that's not reflective of the series or their take on society. What is important is how they were written. When George Lucas sat down and wrote Star Wars, he wanted to write something that would entice political views, religious views, and sociological views. When J.K. Rowling did it, she just wanted to entertain some British kids. So that really goes to show the depth of each series. And I mean, come on, Yoda or Dumbledore? Dumbledore got his ass kicked by Draco, who is half woman in the first place. And Yoda lived until he was 900, which gave him a lot more time to have, knowledge and stuff, and he died peacefully like a badass in his little cottage. He disappeared. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even die, he just disappeared, because that's how he rolls. And Dumbledore, he died all old and frail and, weird looking. And, he, like I said, got killed by Draco, who's the lamest person in the entire series. So there you go.
All right. The idea that Harry Potter is better than Star Wars is basically just because it's gained more popularity in recent years. Star Wars, when it first came out, completely melted people's minds. The thoughts of George Lucas when put into this movie were just so out there that people couldn't take it. And the way the movies were made was revolutionary for their time. We couldn't have done it better with today's special effects, and we didn't, as he pointed out. First 1 through 3 weren't that good, I'll admit that. But Star Wars, based on the impact it had on society, is much better than Harry Potter.
I like to address what you said about the deepness of it and how at first he was just writing it just for British kids. And admittedly, yes, the first book was for the kids. But when she realized how much of an impact it had on kids and adults, she started writing for both. If you've actually read the entire series.
All right, my name's Michael. Also, going back to what Shaun said. All right, sure, Star Wars may have added a little more intellectual, relation to their story. But let's think about what entertainment is supposed to be. It's supposed to create a new environment where people can escape their daily lives and just go and be entertained. So what's wrong with a story like that where young readers can be inspired to read and get, into literature and experience, this whole new world? Sure, Star Wars had more, intellectual, relation, but Harry Potter, it entertained you. And if you want to get involved in intellectual topics, why don't you just go to school?
It's, you know, basically a place for people to go to like escape everyday life, but Star Wars is a whole new universe, okay? Or it's not even a part of it. Harry Potter came up with Hogwarts, okay? That's just in a single school. And so this incorporates the intellectual stuff with entertainment so that you can have fun while learning some stuff, especially since it also incorporates, like, you know, World War II history and stuff. So.
I'm having problems assessing you guys when you're talking about an intellectual point of view of Star Wars versus Harry Potter. Because I look at it this way. Star Wars did go universe to universe, and it had a giant universe, but how far Star Wars went with universes, J.K. Rowling went into the human spectrum of emotion. We became attached to these characters because we grew with them. We did not, we didn't love them just because they could, just because they could shoot lightly. We didn't love them because they could make things levitate or because they could fight the evil overlord. We loved them because we identified with them. It wasn't just about good and evil, it was about the struggle between the two. So I'd say if you are less of an intellectual and you actually think with a brain and you think with a heart as well as your brain rather than just your brain, then Harry Potter's the better choice.
About the depth of either or, I don't really have a perspective, but it is not the author, the meaning of the book is not the author's interpretation, is what the reader takes from it. It is the reader's perspective, and that is the true meaning of the book. It is different from everyone.
Personally, to go against Aram's point, to connect with the characters, personally, I love Princess Leia. I will give it to her all day. The thing with Princess Leia is, I've had a crush on her since I was a little kid. I have grown up loving Princess Leia, and I've had an attachment emotionally with Princess Leia. Therefore, I don't think the whole argument on emotional attachment growing with Harry Potter, that's just bias on your age. Some kids didn't watch Harry Potter until the last days when they want to jump on the bandwagon and watch Deathly Hallows Part 2. So basically, the argument that it's just you growing up with the generation and learning to love and being characterized, Harry Potter is based off the Bible, if you guys haven't noticed yet. All the morals in Harry Potter are found in the Bible. The whole concept of Harry dying and coming back to life is the whole Jesus concept, if you guys didn't know. If you guys literally get the Bible, and some lines are actually brought from the Bible into Harry Potter. So if you want to really love characters, then grow up with Jesus instead of Harry Potter. Anyone else?
Alright. I would like to address what Aram said, and you make a really good point, because I personally, reading the entire Harry Potter series, connected better with the characters in that series than did with Star Wars. But that's not to say that Star Wars didn't have any emotional scenes. In the last movie, 6, Return of the Jedi, the last scene when he's when Luke and Vader and the Emperor are all sitting in the room talking, and the Emperor's trying to get him to come. You want to fix that? No. He's trying to get him to go to the dark side. And for those who haven't seen the movie, basically Darth Vader watches his own son Luke get tortured, getting electrocuted and burned and thrown around a room, and he has to just sit there and stare at this. And Luke's screaming and begging for him to help him, and he can't because he's still a pawn of the dark side. And so that's the most depressing scene I've ever seen in a movie, just because Vader is sitting there with his whole mask thing going on, just staring at his son, rolling around on the ground, screaming like a chihuahua. And I was 7 when I watched it, and it was horrifying for me, because it looked like a Guantanamo Bay interrogation scene. But honestly, that's how I connected. And I connected with Han Solo a lot. He said he connected with Princess Leia. Han Solo is a badass, and he's a ladies' man all the way. And that's why he got with Princess Leia. Am I right? I'm right. And you said, sure, Harry Potter's a good way to escape from reality, but if I wanted to escape from reality, I'd drop acid or something. There's more than one way to do that. And I can escape from reality through Star Wars, but at the same time, I can look at it through a political spectrum and see it that way. So don't limit yourself.
All right, Haitham?
Economically speaking right now, Star Wars was actually way better than Harry Potter. The franchise of Star Wars brought in, I think, $20 billion, just in the US alone. Harry Potter, I think just for the box revenue was $3 billion. Star Wars was $5 billion, and that was in the 1970s. Imagine if you had Star Wars 3D right now. How great would that be? Who would watch Star Wars 3D?
Right here.
I would. Who would watch Harry Potter 3D? Well, they do have it 3D. It's such a hit.
Star Wars is
There, that's it.
I'm gonna pick on new students really quick. You guys are new. Dude, I'm sorry I'm calling you guys out. The LA hat. You guys want to say something about this? Which side are you guys on? Star Wars? Why do you like Star Wars over Harry Potter? Go ahead, stand up and tell everyone your name. Don't be shy.
Star Wars is better because they use the Force and they can never lose the Force. Other than having witchcraft and stuff, if they don't have a stick, then they can't do nothing. Then they're basically pointless and there's no use of them. Brian.
I'm going to be picking on random people throughout the debate, the new faces, so be prepared. And thank you, by the way. Grady?
Okay. If you look at Star Wars, you look at the computer graphics, they suck. But it doesn't look fake like nowadays. Like if you look at Harry Potter, look at me, I spent a lot of money on CG. But the snitch looks fake in 10 years. I'm obsolete now. But Star Wars, it'll be good for all time, not just for this time.
Alright, sorry Shaun, but in my opinion, Princess Leia has nothing on Emma Watson, okay? Alright, but you guys don't watch the box. Alright, but saying that Harry Potter won't have a lasting effect, isn't rightly fair because it's kind of more recent. So we haven't even given it a chance. And I'm pretty sure that the next generation is going to, watch the movies and, see the updated, effects and all that. You might say it's, unfair to compare the two series of movies. But I mean, if you sit a kid down and show him Harry Potter with all these effects and stuff, and then you show him Star Wars, which by their generation is going to be, who knows how old, then they're probably going to be more attracted to that. I'm not saying, okay, effects are the only reason to watch a movie. I'm just saying they're going to look into it and they're going to say, maybe I should read the books, maybe I should do this and that. And then they're going to, pick up the characters just like we did. We haven't given it time to see whether or not it's going to be a lasting effect on generations to come.